Hi and welcome to ASUS PC DIY. I'm Nick, this is Jansen and we're from Extreme PC Magazine.
And today we're here with Chris to talk to him about the PC that he's built for ASUS Fest that's going to be given away to one lucky winner.
So Chris, we can definitely see that you can build an amazing high-end gaming PC, but how did you get this far with ASUS?
Cheers Nick. So back in 2019 I built the Ghostbusters themed PC for ASUS and the EGX show, and then after that I was hoping we'd maybe do some more builds, but then obviously the pandemic hit. So
the nightmare.
Given it's been 2 years since then, so ASUS got in touch with me and said we want a build doing for a giveaway, the ASUS Fest giveaway. So sent me the details over the brief and wanted to commission me to do the build, come up with the ideas of it, and it was essentially to come up with something that was bright, airy, summery theme to match the ASUS Fest branding, sort of a Miami sunset sort of theme to that.
Yeah, you definitely pulled that off. We're loving the front glass. Can you tell us a bit about how you've done that? You see it's etched.
The front glass etching, because you obviously get one shot at it, it takes a little bit of time just to make sure everything's perfectly lined up. So that was just final stencil cut out and then peeled out to reveal the design in inverted, and then that's covered with the etching cream. Give it 20 minutes, 30 minutes to etch and then wash it off, and thankfully it's come out all right. Yeah,
it's lovely. So we see you've used the 011D case from Lee. Very, very popular case. We've built a few in our own time. Currently my personal build's in one of them at the moment. We see they've done the XL version, which you've got here, and they've also done a mini version, also very popular. Tell us why you went with this XL.
I went with the XL. I've never built an away case before, and given how popular this case is in the market, thousands of people can't be wrong. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to see what it's all about, the XL case, and obviously with it being a ROG edition as well, it just fitted with everything I wanted to do, and it gave me the chance to do the front glass etching as well and incorporate that. Great airflow case as well, so seemed the perfect choice for the build.
Also, another point, it's quite low priced. It's a very cheap case to get for how much quality is actually in there.
I'm very impressed with the build quality of the case, and for the price that you're picking these up at, great choice.
How do you feel about the actual inside of the case, as it's got a dual chamber on there? So you've got your PSU in the back, you've got all your water cooling and all of your other parts in the front. How do you find working with that?
Roomy and very versatile, because obviously you can move the PSU between the three slots in the back. You've got the hot swappable hard drive cages as well. If you don't need them, then obviously you can take them out. And as you'll see in the back, that's where we've hidden away the pump on this one, just to keep it out the front of the case as well.
A lot of people do use that case at the back. Like you said, there's separate PSU compartments. You can have it in 3 positions. We personally use that to put screens and all the cabling in there. We've seen a lot of people using that area for like secret compartments, and you say you've put a pump in there. Yeah,
the alpha cool pump's being put in the back of the case, so it's not detracting from anything in the front, especially because we've got the bulkhead panel in there as well.
Nice. How did you feel squeezing such an amount into such a small space?
The back of the case, there's still plenty of room. You could put 2 pumps in this and run dual loops. I say it's so roomy in the back, even for fittings and passing it through. There's plenty of room in it.
So Chris, we noticed inside that you've got a mirror panel in there. Why did you put a mirror panel in there?
When you look at all the builds in this case, the XL, the standard 011 as well, they're all very samey. And with this being such a special build for ASUS, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So rather than going for the standard 3 fans and a rad in the bottom and on the back panel and at the top and then the single fan in the rear, I just wanted to do something a little bit different. And by going with a mirrored panel, it opens up the case, makes it a little bit brighter, and you get some interesting reflections as well from the pipes as well going through there.
Okay, because this case, you've got the ability to put a rad at the top and bottom, so you're not really losing out by not having a rad in that area as well.
Absolutely, there's no detrimental effects to the cooling with this, because you have got that option if you wanted to put one there as well, but I think a 360 in the top and the bottom of the case is more than adequate for what we've got in.
So you've told us a little bit about the Lee case that you've used and the arrangement inside the case. Could you tell us a bit of info about what parts you actually went with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a gaming system, so everything's gaming orientated. For that, the standout processor at the moment is the 11900K for Intel, so that was a given. So it was finding a motherboard, obviously from ASUS, to pair with that. The Z590A Strix board, great fit for this case with the theme of that, with the silver accents on that board, so we went with that. We've paired that up with some of Team Group's NVMe storage, some of their Extreme RAM in white, again to match the theme, and then obviously we've got the Strix 3080 Ti as well. As part of the giveaway, the bundle, there's going to be a monitor given away at 240Hz, so a 3080 Ti is perfect for that as well.
Nice. So overall, it's going to be a full gaming setup.
Full gaming setup. Very cool as well with the alpha core that we've put in this as well.
Nice.
So what kind of storage has it got for games?
So we've got two Team Group Cardia drives, the Z440 and Z330, and they're both in there at 1 terabyte capacity. So there's plenty of room in there for a Steam library or even Warzone, even though that's getting quite big nowadays, isn't it?
We see the water block on the front of that 3080 Ti. It's very big. How is it fitting it?
Fairly straightforward fitment. Alpha Cool box have always been great set of instructions as well. So if it's something that you're new to and you're a bit scared of doing, just take your time. It's quite a straightforward process with AirBots to fit.
Was it easy to do it vertical rather than horizontal? Did that give you any benefits?
I like, with any case, especially with a glass side panel, and you guys have seen this as well, if you're going water cooled, I'll go with a vertical card. If you're going air cooled, I wouldn't do. Especially when, not so much in here, but other cases where you are literally right against the side panel, so there's no airflow. But anything that's water cooled, I'll tend to go with a vertically mounted GPU because it just shows off the graphics card a little bit more as well.
So with the components you've just told us, you obviously have to have a really reliable power supply that can power them. What have you gone for in this build?
So to match the white theme, we've gone with one of the ROG Strix 850 watts in the white. Granted, you can't see it because it's in the way in the back, which is a bit of a shame. But we've gone for them because they are a reliable power supply, and 850 watts gives you ample power for running a 3080 Ti. With this power supply, you do get a set of individually sleeved white cables, which look great, but given the theme, the Miami Sunset theme, we've gone for custom cables with this build as well.
So the custom cables you got in there, are they cables that you've braided yourself?
No. Cable braiding isn't one of my specialities, so I'd sooner support another modder who can do this better than I am, and obviously it saves me time so I can concentrate on the bits that I can do. So these went out to the wire mods, and he came up with some great. These are full cables, not extensions, so if you need something custom for a system, he's the sort of guy to go to, and it really does match the theme of this really well.
Okay, nice.
So you can't help but notice that bright purple fluid in there. Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose it and the water cooling system itself?
Yeah, the purple coolant obviously is to match with the ASUS Fest theme. That Miami Sunset to pair up with the cables and everything else in there. The cooling system on this is all alpha cool. It's my go-to for water cooling. So most loops people use a series configuration. I've decided to go a little bit different with this one and go parallel instead. It just helped with the aesthetic of the build to match everything up, to go through the bulkhead panel and keep everything symmetrical.
Do you feel like that would affect the cooling and the temperatures?
There's always going to be these arguments between series and parallel and what people are going to do, but I think overall the difference in temperature is really negligible, and as you'll see on this system, through the test, it's proven that it keeps the system nice and cold.
Yeah, I'd have to say, looking at the PC, it looks amazing the way you've done it, and if it wasn't in parallel the way you've actually done it, I would think you'd have more pipes on the right-hand side. And I think that would take away from that nice clean look you've got. Everything's hidden right now.
Yeah, you've got to try and visualise how it's going to look at the end of the build, not just as you're going through. So there's a lot of planning that goes into that. And the cleaner you can keep a build, obviously the better it looks as well.
Do you find, when, like you just touched on about pre-build, how you go about getting these components in there, do you set out and put them in to actually be in place before, or do you literally just wing it and you go as you go?
You'll put components in and things won't line up as you expected, then you'll try something slightly different and it ends up actually looking a lot better than what you originally planned. So a lot of it is, making it up as you go on, trying to find different things that fit. And now and again you do just come up with something that's totally different by accident most of the time.
So with the pipes, there's plenty of sizes that you can go for. Why did you pick these size pipes?
I always go 1310. Just because in proportion to everything else, I think they just look perfect. I think 16's a little bit too big, to be honest, especially in a case like this.
So the fans that you've used in this build are the Lian Li Unifans. Like, we've used these in the past and we really like them. How have you found them?
Again, for me, same as the case, first time using their fans, and like I said before, there's thousands of people using this case, so people can't be wrong about the quality of the case, and the same with the fans. Yeah, I've gone down the line of what I said earlier about all these builds looking samey, but these fans, given that you can add 3 together and daisy chain them and run a single cable from them, it just makes, again, just the build aesthetic so much cleaner and less work for me in cables, really.
Yeah, because these are sort of revolutionary fans nowadays, aren't they? You don't have any cables going from one to the other. They just stick together, and so that's where you get the Unifan from.
Absolutely, you're starting to see some other companies as well try to do their own thing with this, but obviously Lee are going to lead the way with this. And they're very popular and they perform great as well.
Yeah, to any builder out there, they'll know firsthand the nightmare of the cables, of having 10 fans per build, and controller boxes and stuff like that. But with this, clean.
This we've got, 1, 2, 3 cables running to one of Lee's hubs in the back as well. 3 cables. I mean, like you say, if you're using 10 fans, potentially you can have up to 20 cables then. If you've got one for the actual fan and one for the RGB. So the reduction in cable management's been great.
Yeah. So Chris, thanks for coming down and sharing this amazing build with us. Can you tell us if you've got anything else in the pipeline that we'll be seeing soon?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure bringing this down. Great to meet you guys. I've got some other projects coming. I'm not going to say too much about those at the moment, obviously, but make sure to check them out on the Mod83 social.
Great, thank you. So just check out Mod83 on the info below, and just follow these channels and you can see what happens next.